I'm supposed to be saving up for Japan. Hello and welcome back to Outside the Box number 40, the series of videos where I am in between projects and I crack open my backlog of boxes to add them to my backlog of customs. And yes, I have a hell of a backlog of boxes to get through. I don't have a problem, why do you ask? Now today we do have a big box from the Big Bad Toy Store that has quite a few boxes within it, but there's only one we're going to take a look at today. You saw the thumbnail, so let's get cracking. Oh! Can I just put it over here? Yeah, come to Papa. I'm not even gonna try and show what else is in here. Of course, at this point, I kind of forgot. You can tell the last project was longer than normal because this backlog of boxes is kind of insane. I mean, I have another Big Bad Toy Store box, right? That's how long this last project took me. Okay, can I just grab the one figure? Oh, look at this. We have a brand new Big Bad Toy Store sticker. For 2025, that's actually kind of cool. I don't remember how many of the regular Big Bad Toy Store stickers I have. I have quite a few, but now to have them with numbers, they really want you to buy something every year, right? I might actually put this up somewhere. I mean, they're not sponsoring me, right? Not yet anyways. Nice picture, but wait a minute. What the f? There's not even a single Transformer on here? I can't get behind that, no. It's gonna right in the trash. Okay. Oh, buddy boy. Okay. I see the box I want. I think it got me. All right. Everything else, we'll save it for next time. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Here we have Transformers Studio Series. It's still 86, even though it's not on the box anymore. God, I missed that. I don't even know what number it would be. From the Transformers the movie, Megatron. Man. We got us a Megatron, fam. We did it. We finally did it. And it only took 40 years, huh? Let me get a real good look. I will still say I miss the artwork that's on the older boxes. This is nice. Very stark contrasts with these new art pieces. They're not exactly my favorite. In fact, I often would wonder if any AI went into them. I don't think so. I know I keep saying that. I mean, I hope there's no AI in here, right? No, I think there was just some placeholders that they had on some boxes when they were announcing them, which I don't think was a good idea to begin with. But these do look nice. We do get some nice artwork of both Bot and his vehicle mode, which is a lovely tank there. Obviously, a tank that's not based off of anything in real life or any kind of an Earth tank, which is perfectly fine. I'm okay with that. And on the back, yeah, they're definitely renders. Some nice renders of both Bot and vehicle mode there as well. And you can also see the accessories that he comes included with. Ironically, no energy mace this time around, although I'm pretty sure I've got about 6 or 7 of them in a box somewhere that'll fit him. He gets a sword that he had in the movie, which, okay, that does kind of make sense, I guess. Since this is Megatron from the original animated movie, he did use a sword, he didn't use the energy mace, right? So, okay, all right. But 86 Prime did come with his axe, so okay, that's out the window. And a nice little shot of this weapon here, which is very much Hasbro's solution to not being able to give us a Megatron that's going to transform into a gun. And I think that's perfect. Now, it's not a Walter P-38. They're not going to give us that. It's just a gun. But it's very much reminiscent of what Megatron looked like in gun mode in the G1 cartoon. That's as good as we're going to get it. Ironically, though, the arm that's holding it, I know there was some kind of a question as to who is that bot, but it's kind of clearly Megatron himself, just kind of photoshopped a different color. It's really weird that they did that. And then there's like some red and some yellow right there up on the shoulder area. So I don't know, they were trying to emulate a different bot. It's nobody that I know of, but it's very much Megatron's arm, which is fine. That's totally fine. Oh, and it's even showing you right here in the bottom, we do have some storage options for those accessories. That's always cool. I never care about that myself, though. I would never really display them like that myself. But a lot of folks do appreciate that, though. Let's get them out of the box. Let's live up to the title of these videos. Yeah, that's Megatron. I gotta say, though, I don't feel the same kind of energy opening up 86 Megatron as I did with 86 Prime. I think the biggest difference before you even open them up is just the size of the box. Obviously Prime has this trailer, but this is where I prove my point about the artwork. The artwork there is so freaking phenomenal. It just awesomely recreates one of the best scenes from the movie. I still have it stored away to this day. I don't know if I could ever get rid of that box. This one is just, you know, a standard Studio Series 86 box. I don't know if I would have preferred a windowless box, but I think I would have preferred maybe some better artwork at the very least. Anywho. Wow, this is a booklet, or not even really a booklet. It's a freaking poster of just instructions. Yeah, okay. I mean, I know he's not masterpiece level of complex, but he is a little bit involved. I've seen some videos of the transformation when he came out. That's one of the tough things of getting these packages and kind of having to wait a few months to open them up. It's like, you know that you have him, you know he's there, but I can never bring myself to do a video like this while I'm in the middle of a custom project, because this hobby desk is just littered with all of my supplies. And anywho, we're finally here. Man, he does look freaking awesome. Okay, you gotta orient his forearms correctly, I guess, out of the box. Dude, this guy has a chest. Okay, I mean, I don't have a problem with that. I'm already sensing some things not lining up, but that could just be due to it not really being properly transformed out of the box. All right, stand right there, dude. Huh, I did not know that the fusion cannon had some articulation. I don't think I've ever seen that in any of the videos. I'm guessing it's for the transformation though. It looks fine, but like how many have said, it does look a little bit oddly shaped. Does it come with something else other than the sword though? And the gun? No, it's just those two, right? It's just those two. It feels like there's something more in here. Oh, I see what it is. He also has the barrel that goes on his back. That's a separate piece out of the box. Where do we start, huh? Let's give him his fusion cannon for one thing. It's funny, after seeing him so much online and now to finally have him in hand, he looks great. And there's a butt coming. There are some oddities to him. Let me show you just right off the bat here. These little pieces here, looks like they're meant to clip right on there, but they are not reaching it whatsoever. So I don't know if a hinge is maybe misaligned. I mean, they stay in place, that's fine. And I don't want to force it too much at this point. And yeah, the chest does stick out quite a bit. It's odd. It's odd to have something like that on a figure where it just transforms into like a tank that's not a real actual tank. So I don't know why they couldn't have gotten that shape maybe a little bit better. What looks the most odd to me is this top section here. It's at quite a bit of an angle. I think I would have preferred it angled just a little bit more down so we could see these details a little bit better from the front here. I mean, there's stuff going on the sides that, yeah, it's gonna move around. But again, it becomes like the front of the tank. Why did this have to suffer a little bit for the tank though? It doesn't make a ton of sense. Again, this is all like just minor stuff though. But one thing that I did notice in all of the photos that looked a little bit off to me, I don't think I've heard too many folks talk about this, are the size, the shape of the feet. They're very square. They're very square. Traditionally, I think we see Megatron's feet and most Transformers, to be honest, where the front of the foot gets just a little bit more narrow than like the section that then connects to the ankle or to the leg. And here it's like straight out. That's noticeable to me. Maybe a little bit short too. I've even been thinking about if that would be something where I could possibly shave the sides of it to give me a better shape. But in typical Hasbro fashion though, here in the bottom, they are almost completely hollow. So if I was gonna try to cut this at an angle, it's gonna expose the inside. I could probably fill it with some putty though. But one thing I really do like that I wouldn't wanna lose are just like these extra side details, these panel linings that we have here. That adds quite a bit of detailing to it. I could probably maybe try to recreate that if I was gonna mess with them, because I think that does look good. But yeah, just the shape of the feet though, again, kind of a minor thing. And then I think the only real other thing, well, no, not the only real other thing, the overall coloring of the figure, the colors are fantastic. What you would expect a Megatron to be. Megatron very famously has two predominant G1 color schemes, either from the cartoon, which is what they're doing here, or from the original G1 toy, which are more darker legs with the insides being a red, which is what I personally prefer. It kind of ties the whole figure together better, in my opinion, as opposed to having like this darker grayish color here at the bottom. Doesn't look bad though. It's just, you know, a preference. But I mean, that's one of the things that bothers me the least, because obviously when we get to an eventual repaint, that's something that I would then fix myself. So that's that. I do, however, really like the color that they went for, the black. It's not really black, it's more like a very dark gray with a copper tone to it. It does have the typical swirls from the mold injection process, but I think it adds almost like a marbling look to it, and you can really tell right here on the crotch plate. I don't know if it's coming up well on camera, but it's quite a bit stunning in real life though. I don't know if I'd be able to recreate that with a repaint myself, and I'd be okay in losing that, but it's impressive how it looks. Yeah, the fusion cannon does kind of match that. And there's really not a lot of paint that I can see. I think mostly is the reds that we have on the sides of the abdomen. I don't think there's any actual red plastic on this figure. So all of these bits are just painted in here, as well as the colors on the abdomen here. And obviously for the face as well, it's not the same gray as the body. Has more of like a lighter gray tone to it. That looks nice, looks really nice. One of the things I mentioned when I was unboxing Studio Series 86 Optimus Prime is how the design aesthetic for him was very much lifted off the G1 cartoon. But thankfully with some added detailing and some of the aesthetics of what we see usually with a more modern G1 looking Prime. And it looks like with 86 Megatron, they took that even further. This dude has an abundance of detailing all around him, and it just adds so much flavor to him. We see all of the intricate panel lining on the arms. Thankfully, a lot of the chest is still left pretty clean, but you still see extra details like on top. We have these iconic shapes here on the sides. That's where he would get communications from some of the cassette bots in the G1 cartoon. They would light up, and there's extra detailing right here that he's never had before, but now he's got them here, and it looks great. And it continues down onto his legs as well. Man, so great. And it's not more than necessary. It doesn't look busy or anything like that. It's pretty much the right level of detailing that I like for my Transformers. And I kind of wish 86 Prime had this level of detailing too. One of the things that's usually toughest to get on Megatron is his head. Either it's the shape of the bucket itself, the shape of the face. He can come off looking really weird if not done properly. I remember the very first Masterpiece Megatron. I don't know if you all do. I believe I got him at my very first visit to Comic-Con years ago. And, you know, it was a first. And at that point, we kind of assumed the only Masterpiece Megatron we would ever get. And I liked it at the time. But boy, did he not age great. Man, he kind of looks hideous at this point. I mean, they did what they could at that time. There was an aesthetic where they really focused on getting a really accurate Walter P38 handgun and then getting a Megatron out of that, which, okay, I am so glad that they took a different approach with the version 2 to give us a near perfect Masterpiece Megatron and then kind of, you know, get a Walter P38-ish gun out of that, right? That figure's great. But man, the head sculpt on the first one, oh, Jesus. I mean, I would show it to you here, but no, it's too hideous. It's too hideous. And they really knocked it out of the park with version 2. So good. This one is damn good. But is it perfect? Well, what's difficult is that Megatron, he would look so different in the G1 cartoon from one scene to another. So that's part of the impossible task of just getting the look right in a modern figure. And it has some differences to version 2 Masterpiece Megatron. I think it's part of the shape with the helmet though. I'm not sure if it's a little bit elongated, maybe a little bit tall. I kind of get that impression from the face itself, but it looks damn good though. Now on my copy, it looks like they just yanked that helmet right off of the sprue. He's got quite a bit of extra flash here on the top that you typically don't see on these toys. But again, for me, it's no trouble whatsoever. We're gonna get this guy cleaned up for the eventual repaint. I'm almost glad that I got him, as opposed to a non-customizer who would have maybe seen that and either just would have lived with it or maybe would have tried to fix it themselves. I mean, this is the tool that you can probably use for it. Although you can maybe stress it a little bit and have a little bit of a white marking as well, especially if you're not gonna paint it. You don't wanna mess that up. Anywho, I guess maybe somebody must have known that this one was mine, and so I got the messed up head, that's fine. It's totally fine. But this guy definitely commands a presence. He is just phenomenal. Let's get his other gun bit on. What is astounding is that this is very much, very clearly just the front barrel of a gun. Wow. Is this legal? Oof. Do not go out into the street with this. And the peg on the back, on the bottom there, is just an articulated peg. Interestingly enough, I'm guessing the articulation comes into play for the transformation. I'm just gonna give that a turn to make it 90 degrees, and I guess plop it right on the back here, right? Oh, that's not very tight at all. I mean, it's not gonna fall off, but, oh, no. No, not a fan of that. We're gonna tighten that up. Okay, now he's perfect. Now he is complete. Good stuff, good stuff. One of the things that is amazing is, again, you have a Megatron here, transforms into a tank. More often than not, he's gonna have a bit of kibble, as the Siege version of Megatron had an entire backpack on him. And with this guy, it's very well hidden. You can see what I'm guessing are gonna end up being the tank treads right here in the back. But here in bot mode, it just adds more detailing. The only part that really is something that sticks out to me are these bottom sections here. They look like wheels. Yeah, just wheels for part of the tank treads. And that is just some glaring tank mode sections showing here on the back. But man, it's almost like I can forgive that though, because it's such a small part on the back of the feet. You're not really gonna see it all that much. Here in the front, it's just utter perfection. So good, so good. As you know, I'm not a big fan though of having all of these peg holes on figures just willy-nilly. Let's just put some holes in them. I know that I guess they're meant for like blast effects or whatnot. I don't like it. I don't like it. But I guess for the sake of symmetry, he also has that fusion cannon peg hole on the other arm as well. I am probably gonna just fill that in myself. I don't ever plan on using it. And also on the back, he's got a peg hole on the other side of his back as well. That's gonna get filled in too. I'm not gonna use it for any weapon storage. That's just not my thing. But yeah, thankfully though, like on the front, he doesn't have any other real like glaring peg holes that I would have to try to take care of. But let's talk about that fusion gun, shall we? Boy, what happened there, huh? It doesn't look bad. It does not look bad. I think the proportions are, I don't know exactly if they're off, because I'm sure you can pull up a scene in the G1 cartoon where the fusion gun maybe looks exactly like this. I don't doubt it, but for some reason, the back section being as big as the front section is throwing me for a loop here. It almost looks like you're supposed to push it down a little bit, but no, it's just like that. And yeah, there's a section that opens up here in the back. Again, I'm guessing it's going to be for the transformation. I'll show that off in a bit. But also, this section over here, he's got like a part just kind of sticking out, and this entire middle section seems like it's upside down. So the part that's connected to the arm has these indentations here on the sides, where we typically see those on top. And I don't know why they did that. You would kind of maybe hope that it would be able to connect flipped over, but obviously it can't. I don't know, maybe if that's for tank mode, I'm honestly not sure. We're gonna find that out in a bit as well. I could very much see myself just kind of maybe using a third-party offering. I think DNA Design is gonna be putting out a kit for this guy. I don't know if it's gonna have any fusion cannon. I like all of the detailing that's on it, all of the extra panel lines. And so if I do replace it, I would want it to look similar in that regard at least. It does match the look of the rest of Megatron. I wouldn't want one that's overly simplified. It wouldn't really match with everything else that we're seeing. But yeah, kind of weird. And obviously in the barrel of the fusion cannon itself, I don't know if that's coming up on camera, but you have a nice little blast effect peg hole there as well. It's kind of deep in there though. It probably minimizes what kind of blast effects you can insert in there. I have mine in the box, so those aren't gonna get out anytime soon. But yeah, this guy is great. All of the positives greatly outweigh any issues that I have with this guy. Some of the issues that I have, I'm gonna fix with a new coat of paint. Other issues I have, I'm gonna fix with some third-party offerings, aftermarket kits and whatnot. This is a phenomenal figure. Let's take a look at the accessories here. We'll start off with the sword. And see, this is one of those things where because of storage options that they give you, they have to add that little extra peg there on the bottom so it can attach. And maybe that's part of the reason why I don't like weapon storage, because it adds a piece that detracts from the overall look of the weapon. But again, not a big deal. I can just cut that off, which I more than likely will. Some very nice paint used for the blade itself. I guess it's like a lightsaber, right? It's an energy sword. And the purplish color or the lavenderish has like a bit of a shininess to it. So I very much like that. That's good stuff. I don't know if I have any paint that would match that though. Maybe we'll try to give it some kind of a different effect. I don't know. Don't know, but it looks great. I guess we can have him hold it. Oh yeah, he's got articulation on those hands. There we go. Oh, kind of pops into place. Yeah, he holds it very well. That's good stuff. Good stuff. Because the bottom of the handle is a little bit fatter than the rest of it, you can't just slide it into the fist, but it kind of like pops right into place, and you very easily just fold the fingers over it. Very satisfying too. And of course we get his gun. God, I'm so glad he came with this. And yet I wish it was a little bit better looking. Again, we were never going to get a Walther P38 exact replica. This is what they're offering us. And honestly, it's better than nothing, but it would be just very easy for me to get some kind of a 3D file online, print my own. It honestly wouldn't be for himself to hold, but rather for other Decepticons, mainly Starscream, right? Very nice design to this one though. Nice generic weapon. Still has the iconic scope silencer on it. They were never going to give us like these stock options for it as well. That would make it just a little bit too complex, maybe a little bit too much like the Walther P38, but this is nice. I very much do like the tiny Decepticon emblem that we get on it. Man, that is so good. I don't know if I have one of those dry rub transfers this size. I don't think I do, so I don't know if I would go through the trouble of repainting this. Probably not, because I would lose that really good Decepticon symbol. I think I would just go ahead and print my own or just buy a different one. And yeah, again, for the storage options, they have to ruin this piece a little bit by adding this little tab right here on top. Are you happy? Are you happy? I know some of you are probably happy. Yeah. There, he's got his storage. Awesome. And that's the last time that's ever gonna go on there. Okay. And there he is, playing with himself. Okay. All right. I mean, you never see that in G1. One thing I do like though is that for the articulation on the fingers, the index finger doesn't fold all the way in with the rest of the fingers, making it seem like he's got some kind of a trigger on the weapon. And that's an overall an awesome look. I like that very much. Yeah, that looks freaking awesome. Not bad, not bad. Speaking of articulation, he's got all the classics, everything you would expect. Yeah, this barrel on his back though, that is not a difficult fix. Trust me, I'm an expert in loose joints now. He's got a ball joint on the head. Pretty good up and down movement, not a whole lot. And a tiny bit of wiggle side to side. Shoulders can go out 90. They can do, of course, the full 360. Elbows, more than 90. That's good. On a figure like this, you would expect to have wrist articulation. He does. And as I mentioned, for the fingers, there's separate index fingers, and then the other three fingers are one piece, but there's two articulation points for them at the base of the knuckle, and then what I would assume is like the second knuckle. I mean, he's technically missing one section of knuckles, but that's fine. You're not going to get to that level of detail. I wonder how good a third-party or aftermarket hands would look on this guy, though. These look fine, though. I totally dig them. One thing that always happens, though, that I think is the case even with Studio Series 86 Optimus Prime, is because the index finger is separate from the other three, it's such a fatter finger compared to the others. It's quite a bit noticeable. Again, not the end of the world, though. I am happy to have that level of articulation, and even with all that, he's able to make a pretty convincing fist. Good stuff on there. Love it, love it. What else? Waist articulation, that's a given. He does have his iconic hip sections here, and they are articulated. I don't know if that's going to go into effect for the transformation, but thankfully you can move them out of the way for articulation. Legs can go out, not the full splits it looks like, but I mean, much more than you would ever need. Thigh rotation, how much of a knee do we get? Looks like a bit more than 90, that's good. And then we do have, of course, the ankle tilt, a hell of a lot of ankle tilt. Enough that it makes the foot look completely broken. I don't think I would ever use this extreme of an ankle tilt, but he's got what he needs there. I think that's about it. Actually, wait, no, I'm missing one. Transformers typically don't get this, but he actually has butterfly articulation, which is freaking awesome. Again, not sure if that's something that's going to come into play for the transformation. Sometimes you get extra articulation by accident due to certain transformations. But even if that's the case, it's a perfectly normal looking articulation. I mean, you can pull it all the way out to the point where it doesn't look normal anymore. So it looks like it might be for the transformation. Still though, I'm grateful it's there. Now before we do a transformation though, we have to do some comparisons. And although it might be a little bit unfair, I can't help but want to see it together with the previous incarnation of Megatron that we got. Here we have a Siege Megatron, one of my earlier customizations here in this channel. So this isn't a comparison with what he looks like out of the box. This guy has a better paint job. This guy has really not much of a paint job. That might be the only thing going for this figure though. It's a bit unfair because there was an entirely different kind of a budget on these two figures, and they were really going for something different with Siege. He had such a level of detailing on the figure that you could almost say that it hindered the look of bot mode. And he also obviously transforms into a tank, but the way he's out of the box, he has the entirety of the tank treads on his back. And so I did make as much of a customization on him where I got rid of him. I still have them though. He does technically transform. Those are just more part forming sections, but I added that extra barrel on the back to emulate the G1 look. So I got as close as I could. But I mean, as far as the proportions, the articulation, yeah, this guy's gonna fall short. They weren't necessarily going for a cartoon accurate look, whereas even though this one does, it adds detailing to it. But you know, this was the best that they could have done at that point, and I'm still grateful to have gotten this figure. But yeah, he's gonna get replaced. I don't know if I'm gonna end up keeping him, but that's a decision for another time. One of the glaring omissions on Siege Megatron, now that I've got him out here, that I honestly don't know why it wasn't included, he doesn't have his side hip skirts. And what's funny, he does have these sections that make it seem where something could be pegged onto them. I remember searching at that time when I customized this guy, but never found any aftermarket or third-party accessories to emulate that. I think there are some now, especially if you're gonna try and 3D print your own. There are some out there. I mean, but at this point, I wouldn't go back to even bother. We have come much closer to perfection at this point. Still though, very grateful for this figure. I don't know, would anybody be interested in buying something like this? I don't know, maybe, but I guess I'll cross that bridge when I get there. And there's really just one more bot that we can compare him to. Not really a comparison, but just kind of see them both side by side. Of course I was ready. Ow! Oh God. We have our Studio Series Optimus Prime, ready to kick butt, ready to match off here with Megatron. And man, do they look fantastic together. Even though I was talking about the differences in the detailing, whereas this one has like the perfect level of details added to him. And I still kind of wish Studio Series 86 Prime got the same level. He got like the lightest drizzling of details on him. They still look fantastic together. They still look great. I am more and more these days wanting to do a repaint on these guys. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Obviously, I'm gonna go for less of a G1 cartoon look and go for more of a G1 toy aesthetic, right? I'm gonna give Prime his nice silvery thighs. I'm gonna give Megs his nice black and red legs. I'm gonna make these look as good as I can, but man, it doesn't get much better than this. I've used this term before. It's still valid to say it now. These guys are mini masterpieces. So much so that they're not only going to replace my Siege and my Earthrise Megatron and Optimus Prime, but also my Masterpiece offerings as well. I think I mentioned in the past that I'm kind of done buying new Masterpiece figures. They've gone just a little bit too cartoon accurate for my preference. And since that's a line that's no longer going to, I guess, keep growing in my book, I gotta make room for these guys. It's okay. It's totally fine. Does anybody want to buy any Masterpieces? Anywho, what a world we are living in now, where we get this quality of figures on a mainline offering for Transformers. You don't really see that. So yeah, we're eating real good. Let's check out that tank mode, shall we? Yeah, let's do that. Stand over here, buddy. That's different. And the butterfly is coming into effect now. Very nice. This is ridiculous, but it's also exactly what it needs to be. A very nice looking tank made out of G1 Megatron. And it is, for the most part, a decent looking tank overall. No, it's not perfect, but there were some compromises that had to be done just to get to this point. Again, it's not going to be any actual real life tank model that we all know. Just as much as it hid the tank portions in bot mode, now we're trying to hide all the bot mode in the tank. And I think it has a harder time doing that, which I'm glad that they took the focus onto the bot mode as opposed to focusing on the tank. I don't think anybody would want that. Well, I'm sure maybe there's some sickos out there that would really love a perfect tank. It's going to be Compromise City here though. But it takes it a step further than the shortcomings that the Siege version had. We still have the front of Megatron's chest, the front of the vehicle here. It adds an extra section farther up in the front to help it blend in more. And it kind of helps with that. We obviously have the arms right alongside the fusion cannon here. But what's interesting that they did is hiding the red of the elbows. That goes a long way to making them blend in to the overall look of the tank. That definitely does help. We still get the visible legs here in the back though, but at the very least, we don't have the feet just sticking up off the top of the back. That was a glaring distraction in the Siege version, but here it's a little bit better hidden. What's kind of tough to swallow though is the front of the gun that was on his back just getting stuck onto the front of the fusion cannon. Because of the color mismatch here, it looks a little bit off. But you know what? I'm perfectly happy with it because this is what it took to give us a sick looking G1 Megatron, right? This is perfectly fine. And if it really bothers you, problem solved. This actually doesn't look bad at all. I mean, it's still, you know, not any kind of a tank that we know of, but at least now you get a sick looking barrel that looks like it could probably do more damage because it's just so much bigger now at this point. Also, what's interesting is that, yeah, even though the rotation, it's off center, which, yeah, it's a critique, but it's something else that I don't care about myself personally. Not just because I'm not like a tank guy, but this alt mode is like a secondary thought. It's a miracle that it gets this good to begin with, and having this rotation off center is such a minor thing. But even though it's off center though, it's such a buttery smooth rotation that in and of itself is impressive. It really is. How many Transformers tank modes have we had where the rotation was there but it kind of got hindered by certain pieces sticking out and whatnot? No, not this guy. This guy's buttery smooth. I feel like I'm playing a song here or cranking something. I don't know, but that counts for something, I guess. Sadly though, it doesn't have any rotation going up. I mean, you can do this, but you're starting to bend the plastic, so I wouldn't recommend that. You don't want to do that. And I think what really sells it are just the clearness of the tread sections here on the sides with all of the wheels on the inside. Everything here is lining up perfectly the way that it accordions out of the legs. And that section on the back heel that I had an issue with in bot mode snaps into place so perfectly, giving us a unified look, is excellent. It really does lock into place too. There were some tiny pegs here on the feet section, very small square pegs. I just didn't really want to stay in place, but it doesn't matter because it's such a small section. This isn't going to fall off. It's not going to move anywhere. It's still in place. What was most important was this whole section here. Thankfully, it locks in. Solid stuff. He's got some weight to him too. partly because now everything is so compact into tank mode. And even though I don't think he needed them, they gave him some wheels as well. I don't really care for them. I mean, you don't... Whoa! That is a good roll. Okay. I take my words back. Oh man, that feels real good. Okay, all right. We got some great wheels here. Fantastic. That is better than what I could have ever hoped for. I'm glad this guy exists. If you want, I guess, a chug scale Megatron that transforms into a gun, I think it's fair to say you have options out there. We even got a fantastic version 2 Masterpiece Megatron that executes both bot and gun mode very well. But as far as having like a mainline Megatron, this, I don't want to use the phrase this is as good as we could have gotten, because this is damn good. It's a miracle that it came out this good. It overcomes all of its shortcomings, gives us a better tank mode than it has any right to be, and a near flawless bot mode as well. I do look forward to seeing what third-party and aftermarket accessories and add-ons we'll be able to have to really bring this guy home and make it just that much more better too. All right, I'll put Prime right over there. And come on, Siege. Just one more time in the limelight here, dude. I mean, I still think it's a fantastic figure. Hopefully you do as well. But let me know what you think of your Studio Series 86 Megatron. I know you have thoughts. I know maybe you have some critiques as well. Let me know down in the comments. I always love reading that stuff. And I want to thank you for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this. You're never really going to get a timely review / unboxing on this channel, but I hope you enjoy seeing them just the same. You can always support by just liking and subscribing, or becoming a channel member, getting access to some fantastic emotes, if I do say so myself. You can also hit up the merch store for some fantastic items there. And if you really want to support, you can head over to patreon.com/hobbieswithjose and check out one of the tiers that is right for you. Hey, you could even tell me to work on this guy sooner rather than later if you really wanted to. Now, I am itching to get back to customizing. We've got Dead End coming up next, but we also have about 10 more unboxing videos until then, so you'll have something to watch in the channel at least until then. So keep an eye out for them, and I will catch you all on the next one. Take care, everyone.